Happy Monstering! And welcome to another episode of My Singing Monsters Live, your one-stop shop for everything to do with My Singing Monsters. And thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a very special MSM Live prepared for you. And why don't we go through and just introduce ourselves one by one. So, we are your hosts, Monster Handler Matt.
Monster Handler David.
And Monster Handler Ben. And
Monster Handler Tyson. Monster Handler Tyson, you weren't advertised to be on the stream today.
I'm just doing a brief little visit.
Okay, so
wanted
a
to say
cameo,
hi
if you will.
cameo,
But you don't have to pay for this kind of cameo.
No,
you can get it for free if you're
It's for
subscribed
free.
to our YouTube channel or if you're just watching this YouTube video in the first place.
Exactly, I was in the neighborhood, so I'd sit on the floor.
You do happen to frequent these parts at this time of day and this time of week, so... All right.
Yeah.
Version 4.8.4 released today. My Singing Monsters. Very exciting stuff. And in the lead up to this release, a couple of exciting things happened. We'll get to the second one in just a moment. But the first thing that we have to address is this mystery numeral.
Yeah.
621. Now, the community has been latching on to this, peppered throughout media that has been released over the lead up to Mech Island, and they've been theorizing. They've been saying, what is the significance of the numbers 621? And so, Tyson, why don't you tell us what the significance of 621, 621 is?
I can see where all the speculation comes from, because after Plasma Islet was revealed, and then in the cold open, I believe,
yes,
is when 621 first appeared. And then, you know, it got sprinkled out throughout these last few months. But, you know, it's my birthday.
Yay! So yes, June 21st. It was this past Saturday. It was Tyson's birthday.
If people put it together in the cold open, well, you know, where I make my miraculous return from being stuck in your
when you were separated out from my physical form
like
through disharmonization.
Almost like a rebirth.
Oh my goodness.
And if people wondered, oh, why is the hatch time 621? It's because my birthday is June 21st.
That's because it's Tyson's birthday.
And coincidences? No. This was always a part of everything. And how
so we started to see the speculation about what's the significance of 6 hours 21 minutes. Just as soon as that cold open happened, and then we looked ahead on the calendar and went, well, the next Ethereal Island is scheduled around that time. Why don't we make sure that this aligns properly?
Yes.
But for all of those of you who are theorizing endlessly about all of its special significances, I don't want to say that we fooled you, but we did play a little bit of a prank on y'all.
You did.
Yeah.
And just goes to show you, sometimes things have significance, sometimes they don't. This one has a little bit of both. It was an accident, but a happy one. So I guess.
Listen, I appreciate all the love that surrounded 621.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
And it was in so many different spots there towards the end. There was lots of special significance. What is the significance? It was Tyson's birthday, so.
But it aligned
I think even Vention knows it's your birthday.
I know.
That's right.
They wrote it on their wall there.
Thank you,
in the video.
Yes,
Vention
picked up on the community's subspace transmissions there and was trying to figure out what was going on.
Anyways,
so,
big mystery solved.
Yes, thanks so much for revealing that information to us, Tyson. Now, get out of here.
Get out of here.
And
Come
also,
on.
like, if everyone thinks the 621 reveal's disappointing, you're just saying that my birthday is disappointing.
That's
and
right.
I don't appreciate
And
that.
why would you
How
say
rude.
that to Monster Handler Tyson?
You're
That's
hurting
not
his
very nice.
feelings.
He's just a little guy.
He's just a little
See you later,
guy.
everybody.
Bye, Tyson.
Bye.
Turn my mic off.
We'll see you. Yes, we'll take his mic off. So that was one of the pieces of excitement leading up to the release of Mech Island today, version 4.8.4. But the other exciting piece was the fact that several people got a little bit of a sneak peek of it a few weeks out.
A bit of a surprise.
And we saw lots of commentary online of people going, someone's going to get disciplined. Someone's going to be in big doo-doo over this. And we just wanted to say, no. That's not actually how it happened. We work with our partners on the app stores, Apple and Google Play and Amazon and Samsung and all those partners. And they, in their excitement about Mech Island, saw that we'd submitted a special sort of like highlight for this feature. We wanted to let My Singing Monsters players know about this upcoming update, timestamped for June 25th, and they looked at it and went, "That looks so cool.
looks awesome."
We're going to publish it today." And so then we looked at it and we went, "Well, dang."
Maybe you shouldn't do that, guys.
That's right. So that while that was frustrating, obviously the hype persists for Mech Island and all the exciting things that are going on in version 4.8.4. So if you did see that sneak peek, lucky you, you got a bit of a head start on what was coming today alongside Sky Painting 2025. But for those of you for whom it was a total surprise, we're going to go item by item and tell you all the exciting reasons why you should be excited to download and start playing version 4.8.4. So why don't we begin? So, first and foremost, of course, the second of the highly anticipated series of Ethereal Islets. We got Mech Island on the mirror map. It's available at level 19, requires Ethereal Workshop, does not require you to have Plasma Islets. So if you're someone who's joining the game and you haven't yet explored any of the Ethereal Islets in the mirror timeline, you could potentially start with Mech Islet and then go to Plasma Islet later. But in either case, you will need to teleport a level 14 monster. In the case of Mech Islet, of course, it is everyone's favorite mech quad Vention, and use the Dish Harmonizer to turn one monster into two. Look at Vention in that interstitial there. Finally receiving its redemption.
They finally got their freedom.
Exactly. They got their chance. Yes, and it was alluded to in the video. And just like Rebro followed Ghast, so too does Mech follow Plasma in the island sequence. And in the month of Mech, no less. Now, here's Bogle. Here's Bogle, the air primordial. And, you know, we've seen a bunch of people been speculating as to which of the remaining primordial designs that are known to us, Droa, Fandle, Tuna4, Bogle, which would be assigned with which element, and saw a lot of people saying, oh, well, there's no way that Bogle isn't crystal. Look at that big globe atop of its head. But you have to remember that it's not their ethereal elements that they are representative of, it's the natural elements. So this is the air primordial, and if you read Bogle's bio, you'll learn a little bit more about how this monster was classified initially as the air primordial and why things didn't quite work out in the initial conception, and why the mysterious Colossal has been able to give them a new lease on life here on Mech Island. So, before we carry on, I just wanted to mention, what's that? A Vention mention? No.
Maybe?
In the back there, you can see actually a transcript of the Colossal's notes, of the development notes, and you can see, as indicated in the bio in the margins, the sort of annotated commentary, feedback on those notes saying, Colossals, you gave up too early. I think that we ought to give this another shot here. So, Bogle, just like Loeb before, it is available to buy or Dish Harmonize at level 19 on Mech Islet once you've collected all other monsters on that ethereal islet. So,
all right.
There you go.
Next up, the seasonal event Sky Painting has returned, bringing back Whizbang with it, available to breed at level 9 for a limited time on light and seasonal Shanty. Whizbang here represents the beauty and the power that comes with authentically expressing yourself through the medium of art.
Yes, yes, and you know it's funny that you know, even when we were beginning to conceive of Sky Painting, the idea of bringing in the notion of art is a big part of it, but it really came into its own last year with the release of Epic Whizbang and the introduction of the Museum of Monster Art. More on that a little bit later, but yes, it's obviously an awesome time to celebrate, and like Ben said, Whizbang is back.
Yeah, I was thinking back on Whizbang's introduction a couple of years ago now, and their incredible transformation from their original form.
Right, their former self.
Into their self-actualization of becoming Whizbang.
Yes.
Kicking off.
Finding its own voice.
Exactly. Originally finding its own voice. It's I don't know, one of my favorite seasonal reveal trailers that we did that year.
I agree.
Really captured the essence of that monster exceptionally well.
Speaking of capturing essence.
Sky Painting is here. Along with it is the seasonal island skin Phosphora's dressing up, looking fabulous, lots of color, rainbows, kaleidoscopes, fireworks firing off all over the place.
Not to mention those valuable boosts. 10% faster baking, obstacles with seasonal appearance, 10% faster breeding. All of these things that you can enjoy on Light Island simply by applying the free trial of this island skin for the duration of sky painting.
Exactly. If you love it as much as I do, pick it up, keep it all year round.
That's right. It's worth it. It is worth it.
And with this year's sky painting comes 4 new costumes, with 8 to collect in total. The 4 newcomers are Blinky Buddy for Gob, Rainbow Raiment for Pango, Parade Prepped for Souza, and CMYK Cutie for Tutu.
And we got a sneak peek of these during the Creator Month kickoff, but that doesn't make them any less exciting. Blinky Buddy there for Gob might be one of my new favorite costumes. It is, of course, a reference to the globe species' name during development. Before they were officially named globes, they were Blinky Buddies.
That's a cute name.
So Gob dressed up as a globe just seems to make sense for sky painting.
I appreciate CMYK Cutie being a graphic design joke.
Yes, the different colors of ink, if I'm not mistaken. And it just sort of worked out well. And you know, it's the primary colors as well, or a variant form of them, right? You sort of have a blue, yellow, red in there, but softer and more pastel for the cutie that is Tutu.
And of course, as we've been introducing with seasonal events all year, our seasonal snacks for sky painting are here. Cotton candy and, now how would we say this? Rainbow? Rainbow.
I think you know what? I think it's exactly just like the word rainbow.
Rainbow.
Yes, we were mercilessly teasing Monster Handler Tyson when it came time to record the voiceover for that Creator Month launch, and we were saying, he kept saying rainbow. Rainbow, and we were like,
rainbow.
just say it like the word, just say like the word rainbow. And so then he would re-record it, and we were like, Tyson, it's the same as last time. You're saying rainbow. But don't worry, Tyson can now say the word rainbow.
Indeed. Think of the word Jello.
Exactly. It's just like Jello, but we can't say Jello because Jello is a recognized
registered trademark. Yes.
But it looks kind of like it with that -O at the end. Right?
Is it Rainbow?
Oh, an alternative pronunciation enters the chat. Yes. We'll have to see if that one is accepted by the official Oxford dictionary as an acceptable pronunciation.
All right.
Well, then we love it.
Can't touch
Fair
it.
enough.
No.
So, what's next, Ben?
And for all of those players out there who haven't experienced the sky painting season yet, themed animated decorations are back for the island, along with obstacles that have changed, that are now locked in their seasonal appearance for sky painting on the island.
Includes one of my favorites, the Prism Gate replica.
Yep.
Fun if you also play Dawn of Fire to see it represented in this sort of toy form here in the monster world. But these are some of the most colorful decorations that we have out there, and like you mentioned, Ben, 4 of them are animated, so they bring a little bit of extra life to your island, any of your islands, really.
All right, what's next?
Next is Rare Squot, the next of our rare magical monsters that is releasing alongside events throughout the year. Now, some of you might be wondering, why now? What's going on? What's with this design of Rare Squot? It looks rather alliaceous, which is an adjective for onion-like. Well, it's because National Onion Day is this Friday, June 27th.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan, so check out, I don't know, celebrate Onion Day however you would normally. Eat an onion, I don't know. But Rare Squot and its special little friend, the Slapscallion there, are available to buy or breed for a limited time, and of course, transposed to Magical Nexus once it reaches level 18, but it's there on Fairy Island regularly as part of that cast of monsters.
Brought a tear to Monster Handler Charlie's eye several times.
It did in our new field notes that came out just earlier today. More on that later.
And of course, boosts on diamond packs coming along to help you fill out all of these new releases. Additional value up to 100% more in diamond packs to help along with Mech Island's release.
That's right, and we can see, well, what's going on there? We got
Yeah,
Whiz Bang sort of
is
holding a slapscallion, going like, what do I got here? And one of her Squat's arms reaching out, going, that's
from
mine,
behind.
that's mine. Give me back my baby, or whatever.
we've got
a
a
little narrative sort of emerges there.
Yeah, we got a bogle arm there sticking out.
Yes, and reaching out for the Vogel, that's right,
Indeed.
the Vogel obstacle, seasonal obstacle rendition from Life Formula, which maybe you should check the market on Ethereal Island and
Perhaps
see
you should.
if you want to celebrate Bogle in more ways than one.
Indeed.
But yes, take a look at that. And so, as many of you guys know, we had featured creators supply our loading screens for Creator Month. So, Ben, which one's the first one here?
This first one is from Unlogical, featuring various characters from Ethereal Island.
Yes, Life Formula.
I love the art style here.
Yes, so do I, and
the
many
really
members of our
thick black
community liked
lines.
it as well.
Something interesting, intentional or not, we'll let you decide. The remaining statues down at the bottom there seems to be one missing from that.
Oh. I didn't notice that. Interesting.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
Yes. Was it all part of the bigger plan?
You decide.
Yes, no one can say for sure. All right, so then the next guest artist was Sillier Pit, and they created this loading screen for the second week of Creator Month, celebrating all things Ethereal Workshop. Isn't it beautiful?
It's cool.
Oh, very vibrant.
Yes,
I love the
colors
palette.
pop, and they're given so much personality. Look at Blairet there, and Piplash in the corner, and Exert doing all sorts
seeing
of
a lot of
exciting-
love.
Night Bear in the bottom corner. Lots of exciting things going on with this one.
Yeah.
So well done, Sillier Pit.
Maybe biased, but I love Nightmare in this rendition.
Yes, yes, it's exceptionally cute.
Exceptional.
Possibly
Exceptionally
even more so than normal.
Exceptionally goofy Blair as well.
Yes.
Next up, Mossy Mango for our third week brought us Mythical Island. I'm a Weasel fan. I love seeing Weasel doing goofy things on an island.
And interacting with Pinghound there.
Exactly.
Also Pinghound. Yeah, I don't think Pinghound deserves more love.
Yes, and Pinghound, unfortunately, on that loading screen ended up sort of getting the Mike Wazowski treatment there. With
Oh,
a
no,
lot of the
right.
UI sort of sitting in front of it. So,
Yep.
Oh, no.
So Mossy Mango, let this be a lesson to you. Observe your safe areas. Observe the safe areas in the things that are supplied. But yes, obviously this is a callback to the fact that June was previously month of the mythical, and so it was a great time to celebrate all things mythical as well.
Definitely.
And then our fourth and final, which just came through today.
From Flug. A beautiful rendition of sky painting here.
Yes, featuring many of last year's costumes.
Yes.
Yep.
And these are a great ending to round out these 4 new loading screens.
I agree, Ben. And in the case of all 4 of these, if you want to see more of the art that these creators make, whether it be Micing Monsters themed or the belonging to other fandoms or some of their original creations, you can check it out on their respective accounts on either Instagram or on what was the other one? YouTube.
Some of them are on
TikTok.
X.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some of them are on X. Yes, they're
Give 'em a
artists.
follow.
They're artists
Yeah.
spread across the internet.
Yes.
On a wider scale.
Yes.
So,
Thank you to all our guest artists.
yes, it was an
Please
awesome
follow them.
opportunity to work with you, and we hope you enjoyed it. So, one final note here about version 4.8.4. A couple of other fun things that we snuck into this update. So, break out the box. CG5's awesome official Wubbox theme song is now a tune that's available in the Coliseum jukebox.
Hey,
you can go and check it out.
That's
It's unlocked right there at the beginning at Coliseum level 1, so you don't need to progress any further than just getting the Coliseum for the first time. Go and check it out. It was, until very recently, eye-streamingly loud, and so we released a quick hot fix for that in order to reduce the volume of it a little bit, just so that you don't blow your ears out hearing Break Out the Box.
The song comes in a little hot.
If you were to blow out your ears, Break Out the Box is a great one to do it to, but
definitely.
ideally you don't blow out your ears at all. So, the next thing that we've done is expanded the zoom range on all islands. So, this had been inconsistent for several years, and it was something that personally bugged me, Monster Handler Matt, and so we've gone ahead and expanded the zoom range on all islands. What does that mean? It means that you can zoom out further to see more of the total island at once. This is especially valuable for things like the Titan Island skins, which have lots of exciting things happening in the periphery, on the sides,
In the
and
sky.
also for things like Titan Souls and Colossals that have been awakened via Colossal Conundra. You can now see them as part of a larger, more zoomed out view on all of those islands. You can sort of take it all in at a slightly further away zoom range. And then finally, I teased this earlier this year, but we were able to include it in version 4.8.4, but the guide feature for structures like the breeding structure, attunement structure, synthesizer, and dish harmonizer are now available on Steam. They were previously available on mobile, but now you can check them out on Steam as well.
Nice quality of life improvement.
Exactly. We want to
Exactly.
make sure that everybody who's playing on Steam also feels the love that we feel
Indeed.
for all of our My Singing Monsters players.
Indeed.
All right.
So,
Before we get into
that's
questions,
right.
Okay.
before we get into questions,
Yes.
I just want to talk a little bit more about Creator Month. You know,
Okay.
previously, Month of the Mythical for the last couple of years. This month, as we kicked it off at the start of June, June is going to be Creator Month, where we really focus on the community, those that help build and foster My Singing Monsters in the wider human world. The community loading screens that we included, the creator costume series that's now growing and will continue to grow, among other things that we're adding to the game that we really want June to really be a focus on you and how you can contribute to the future of My Singing Monsters. We have a couple of things still running, still going right now.
right, I
yes,
almost forgot. I skipped over them in my excitement. So I'm glad, David, that you're bringing this
Thank
back
you.
up.
No
A
problem.
couple contests
we have
to
two,
talk
we have two
about?
contests still running. The creator costume contest. We've had a couple of our own YouTubers and creators creating costumes for us that you've
yes.
seen so far. But we've opened up that contest for you to create costumes for the monsters.
Joining that series in an official capacity.
That's right.
Very cool.
And along with that, the emoji contest on the official My Singing Monsters Discord is still running right now. So get your entries in. Those are both still open until the end of the month, June 30th. Get your entries in before it ends.
That's right. You only have until Monday.
Yeah, I've seen some
July's-
amazing ones so
yes,
far,
July's
but
right around the
yeah.
corner.
there's still time.
A reminder, because I know how enthusiastic and creative our fans can be. You get one entry in the costume contest. Pick your favorite, pick your best entry. That's going to be your one.
Right, because otherwise we'll have to do it for you, and you maybe be thinking to yourself, "Well, that's not the one that I would have chosen."
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Don't leave it up to us, monster handlers.
leave
We're
it
not
up to us.
infallible. We make mistakes sometimes. So
Yeah.
make sure, yes, like David said, you put forth your favorite
Yeah.
one.
In the interest
Everybody-
of fairness,
Everybody gets one.
That's
everybody
right.
gets one.
That's right.
One.
Indeed.
So,
One.
like Monster Handler David said, check those out. Those are running through to Monday.
That's right.
And because Tuesday is July 1st, the next new month, Canada Day for us,
Hey.
for us
Yeah.
here in Canada. My Singing Monsters and Big Wobble are Canadian. Don't know if you knew that, but anyway, there you go. So next segment. Sorry, Ben, what were you going to say?
Oh, nothing.
Anything?
Nothing. Just
All right,
now we
what-
can start the question and answer segment
anytime.
of the
That's
show.
right, one of my favorite segments of any My Singing Monsters
Yes,
live episode.
we have some pre-selected questions from the Discord, from Blue Sky, from Reddit, from all over the place.
Cool.
Shout out to Cabwax for the donate for a $3
Thank you, Cubwax. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the super chat.
super chat. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Yes. Should we start with the
Let's-
first question?
Let's do
Sure.
it, Monster
From-
Handler Ben. I'm ready.
From Jordan, and then Epic IRL in
Wow.
brackets.
Epic, yeah.
It got
Who's
out.
that?
Does such a thing exist? I don't think so. That's crazy.
I don't think.
Anyway,
Anyway, what?
carry
I
on,
don't know
Jordan.
what that is about.
Whatever there. Yeah,
But in the bio of Epic Tiawa, it's mentioned that as opposed to the common and rare 2 hearts, the Epic only has 1. Does this mean us science lovers are finally getting monster anatomy lessons, or is it just meant to be a figure of speech?
Ooh, that's a great question, Jordan. Well, the reason that we know that there's just the one heart that's inside of the anatomy, because it isn't an anatomical thing, of Epic Tiawa is that it uses it as its soundtrack for the spooky, scary stories that it
Ooh.
tells as part of its macabre late night storytelling, spooky vibe sessions that it has on Light Island. So if it had 2 hearts, you'd think you'd hear sort of a da-dum, 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 but you can just hear the da-dum, which is
Only
sort
one
of
loved
a
dog.
Edgar Allan Poe sort of like spooky telltale heart kind of situation. So we didn't even have to do any sort of physical examinations on Epic Tiawa. You could just sense it from the fact that it uses its singular heart as its soundtrack for its spooky stories.
All right, David, do you want to continue with the next?
Sure. Next question from Enexi. Is Pentumbra's mouth on its underside, or is it just the shadow?
Interesting.
So I have a theory about this.
Yes, go ahead, David.
We see that face and that mouth projected on the shadow below Pentumbra when it copies and sings, essentially. If you know anything about how sound is made, it's reverberations. It's
And we do.
We do. We hope so. Anyway.
Yeah.
There's a vibration happening that your ears pick up and resonate and vibrate your eardrums. You can make sound any number of ways. It doesn't need to be projected from a mouth. You can. There's a thing called bone conduction sounds where it's just vibrating your skull, and you hear it just like you would hear any other sound. My theory would be that there's a vibration happening underneath Pentumbra.
A localized
vibration.
Very specific vibration.
So is it coming from the shadow? It might just be coming from the ground beneath Pentumbra, but not the shadow itself.
Fascinating. See, I really like that theory. I was going to call into question whether or not Pentumbra has a mouth at all.
Exactly.
Like the monster
a good point,
proper.
too.
Because this massive shadow that exists beneath it's got this sort of unusual relationship with it. It's part of the monster, but it almost kind of feels like it has a life of its own at times, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and actually, great question. As many good questions do, they beget more questions. We have more that we need to figure out.
What else
about
do we
the
not know?
specific figuring out of Pentumbra. But great question. Yeah. Food for thought.
Exactly.
Food for thought.
All right, what do we got next? We got Hyehehe Man. Hyehehe's getting a lot of questions in this round.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh.
Does seasonal shanty actually move?
It do.
It do.
It do be floating on that living ocean water. Specifically, the waters around seasonal shanty are known as the Shanty Sea. Which is not a sea shanty. It's the Shanty Sea.
Okay.
Very important distinction to be made. But yes, it does float on those waters. It traces a fairly predictable path if you're a seasonal. If you're not a seasonal monster, exceptionally difficult to find, almost impossible.
Just never comes to your port of call.
Yes, there's something about that special lighthouse that summons seasonal monsters home, but that other monsters have a difficult time sort of like parsing out that information. It's like it's being like broadcast in a foreign language that they don't actually speak. And then we talk about the monstrous language being something that is like mutually intelligible, and all the monsters can understand all the other monsters even when their voices are different. But there is something unique and special about that lighthouse and the light and the vibration that it emits. It's specifically focused on seasonal monsters.
If it wanted to stop moving, could it? Is it equipped with
Yes, I believe
is it equipped with an anchor?
Yes, drop anchor, if you will. I think it probably can, but I don't think that they've ever
been
had
observed?
reason to. Right, it's never been observed, at least dropping anchor, but who knows, maybe that'd be something we'd be lucky enough to observe in a future trailer, or maybe there's some reason to do so in the future. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We'll see.
Moving on from Pongy, what would happen if monsters with instruments switched for a day? Would they be able to play them naturally?
Interesting. So if, for example,
I have a
Bogart
theory.
and an Oraculele switched or something like that.
Yeah, I have a theory that, like, the musical talent is amongst every monster.
Yes.
Maybe specific instrument talent, maybe not. So, like, maybe they could switch and
They would be okay.
They would be just okay.
Right, but not proficient at them, for example. I think you're right, Ben. There was a concerned children's advertiser ad here in Canada when many of us were growing up, and the big line of it was, nobody's good at everything, but everybody's good at something. And that's something that is, I think, a really strong piece of wisdom, and that, like, you see in the monster world as well. So I think you're really onto something there, Ben, where maybe they would switch and maybe they could sort of, like, fight their way through it, and it would be okay, but not great. But monsters have their specializations, right? So Anurakili knows its chordophone instrument super well. Bogart, of course, knows its horn like cello because it's pulled right out, it's shed off, it's cast out of its very own body. So I think they'd be able to make it work.
Okay.
But they're mostly comfortable with their home instruments.
I wonder if instrument families are more like dialects in the monster world, if we're talking about language.
Yeah,
so
it's almost like it's an accent.
Yeah, string instruments, they kind of have similarities.
It's just like, oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I get that kind of.
And, like, oh, that sounds like home,
You
or
can
something
stumble
like
your
that.
way through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good question, Pongy.
Indeed. From Lego the Guy, we're Lego fans here. If the islands are the size of a country, what size do ethereal islets have? Are they the size of a city or town?
Great question, Lego the Guy. So, right there in the name, islets, yes, are meant to be physically a lot smaller than islands, even though Zaroui the Colossal has figured out a way to get the instability of the workshop ethereals conquered in the mirror timeline. It's still, there is still instability there. There's still factors that need to be managed. So the ethereal islets, by necessity, have to be quite a bit smaller. Also, because Zaroui is sort of manifesting these things out of its own willpower and essence, there's a finite amount to that. There will eventually be 5 ethereal islets, right? We've still got, Shadow, Crystal, and Poison to follow this second of ethereal islets that released today, Mech Island, and so don't want to spread itself too thin.
Yeah.
Got to make sure that there's enough willpower and essence to power them. So they are on the conservative size. So are they the size? What size do ethereal islets have? Are they the size of a city or town? You know what? I don't even know if they're that big. I think they might even be a little bit smaller. It's the kind where if you stood at one end, you might be able to see the far end of it. Sort of like a very small island that you might have here in the human world.
Okay.
That would be my guesstimate.
Interesting.
But it's going to vary a little bit from islet to islet. Plasma islet, the sort of goopy form of it, maybe at times it's a little bit more extended, whereas Mech Islet we see
is more
a little
rigid.
bit more rigid, exactly. It's made out of sort of, tougher stuff.
Yeah, the plasma could sometimes maybe stretch a little bit if landscape to be not the same size all the time. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Next, from Nitrous, we know Loeb had the issue of maturing too fast, which Zaroui made a quick fix for. So, what was wrong with Bogle that made Zephyri abandon the design in favor of Tweedle? How did Zaroui fix it?
First of all, Nitrous, there's nothing to suggest that it was Zephyri alone that made the Tweedle initially. I don't know where he came up with such an idea as that. It is a good theory. But just to circle back to the question about Bogle specifically, well, there are details in Bogle's bio that I would invite folks to go and check out and read, but I can give sort of a high-level overview here. And first of all, I don't like to frame it as what was wrong with Bogle. That seems a little negative.
A little harsh.
I would instead say what could be improved about Bogle.
Think positive.
And exactly. So I think the challenge that Bogle was facing was that the weight of again, we were talking about the difference between plasma and mech, the rigidity of the dome that sat atop Bogle's original design was so heavy that it made inhalation and exhalation very difficult for Bogle, so it had to have all these legs slapped onto it in order to support this immense weight. So the original design of having it sort of breathe in and out and produce its sound that way by using the air supply contained within the sphere above the globe just wasn't really working out. But this was resolved when it came time on Mech Island to sort of give a new lease on life for Bogle and swapped everything out for something, ironically, a little bit more elastic, a little bit more stretchy, just like plasma. And it became more organic in its conceit. So that was the solution to make Bogle a viable addition to the monster world.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Fascinating stuff.
It is fascinating stuff.
Incredible. All right, we got one. Number one FF fan. In the Mech Island teaser, in the Mech Island trailer, Vention is seen taking a shower as a part of his daily routine. Shower, shave, all that stuff. breaking its clock every morning as we all do.
Every morning.
And having to repair
Having to repair it, yeah,
it's supposed to be tiresome and repetitive,
absolutely.
but
How do their joints not rust?
I have a headcanon that it maybe.
Okay.
you know what?
This
You know what's
is-
the best
this
part
is-
about headcanon?
Yeah.
We make this stuff, so we can make the cannon. What is your theory?
My theory is that like maybe they excrete like a WD-40 like
You know what? That's
substance.
exactly what I was gonna say, Ben.
Maybe
so I
it's
think
like
we're on the
sw- it's
same page
natural
there.
lubricant.
It sweats WD-40, not
Yes,
sponsored.
Okay.
exactly. So then it's constantly doing anti-rust,
Constantly
compensatory
repairing
response. In the
itself.
same way that we sweat when we're overheating, that's just something that is part of the special anatomy
And, like,
of vention.
Sure.
What are you gonna do? Not shower?
But yeah, I mean,
right,
you
you don't want
gotta.
to be stinky.
Yeah.
Hygiene is
Especially,
important.
especially in a confined space like the workshop, I don't care how big it is. If you're starting to smell, then your other monsters might be like, "Yo, you gotta
Hey, buddy.
hit the showers.
Come on.
hit the showers, buddy."
When I saw this question, it's funny that Ben's mind went immediately to the mechanical parts, the metal parts
Yep.
of invention. My mind immediately went to the wooden parts of invention.
Yes, the more organic.
The more organic
section.
side, and you, generally speaking, you don't want to get a bunch of logs wet.
Right.
The term's waterlogged, right? But thinking about how vention makes sounds with that sawing as well, keeping that wood and those organic elements wet would prevent fire. It would make it more resilient.
It's its own fire reduction system.
Exactly.
Invention's built with so many
Which
safety
is
features.
why-
So many safety features and redundancies.
But safety first. We got to model good behavior, which is why Invention went to illuminate that fire in the special area of the workshop where it discovered Zarwi's plans for Mech Island. It put down its welding
Oh, yeah.
mask just to make sure
Protect
that
your eyesight.
Exactly. So safety first for those of you who don't try this at home. Digging into.
You ever try welding without a mask?
It's
rough.
exactly. Never try
Don't.
welding without a mask.
Don't-
It's not
don't-
safe. Don't do
don't
it.
do
Don't
it.
do it. Don't do it. Okay. What's next?
What do we got?
From Labor
Labor.
or Labor? Does
knows?
Warden Espert have anything to do with Doma?
Does
I don't.
Dr. Warden Espert, the foremost monster handler in all of history, have anything to do with that sus organization, the Department of Monstrous Anomalies?
How dare you.
How dare you,
I don't even
Labor?
know.
How dare you? No,
Nah.
we're joking, of course. But no, they're separated by not a ton of time, but enough time that Dr. Warden Espert had sort of disappeared in the human plane of existence, and then it was some years later that Doma was founded. I believe, if my research is correct, that Doma was founded sometime in the early 20th century.
Yeah, for the Doma
1900
for the Doma aficionados among you, you'll know
Yes.
that the inception of
The department.
the department coincided somewhat with the Tunguska explosion and at the turn of the 20th century.
Oh my goodness.
Completely
and-
unrelated to.
But it coincides.
And coincides.
And
Yes.
it seems like every time that Doma is brought up, I enter like a fugue state or something. I don't know why.
It's a little
Oh,
strange.
so should we stop mentioning it? We don't want. We
it's-
don't want.
It's like making me zone out.
What's his name? Bert Bold.
Bort's coming out.
What was it? What's
Bork?
Bort.
Bort's
Yes,
coming.
Monster Handler Bort. We don't want Bort to make a surprise appearance. So stay with us,
Yeah,
Ben.
stay
with us, Ben.
But sorry, I think I cut you off.
No,
What is-
not at all, not at all. Just
So they're separate.
They're
Dr.
separate.
Warden Espert and
They
Doma
are
never had
separate.
any contact with each other.
similar time frames of these things happening, completely unrelated.
Yes, Dr. Warden Espert active there, more so at the end of the 19th century. If the dossiers of information that we have collected about his life are to be believed, which we think they are.
And if the reports that Doma is publishing publicly are also to be believed.
Right. Right. They could be, like I said, they're very sus.
little sus.
They're very
Very
sus. They're up to. I don't want to say no good, but they're up to only some good. I
Something?
would say
Something.
Something.
sneaky
Indeed.
Yeah.
Doma. All right. What's next?
We got Jack Attack A1. Could mimicception.
How much mimic could a mimic mimic?
Mimic.
if a
Mimic.
could
Mimic.
A couple at least.
42?
Several, I would hazard to say. Could a mimic mimic a mimic? Yes, I think mimic could mimic a mimic, but if mimic were to mimic a mimic, the mimic in that moment would be so ensconced in mimicry that the mimic to mimic contact would be in danger. And you'd want to make sure that if a mimic was mimicking a mimic, that there was some sort of tell that a mimic could give a mimic that it was mimicking a mimic in order to not have any mimic confusion.
You would start having cross mimic hallucinations.
That's
and it would,
right.
It would start to degrade.
Which no one wants.
It would start to degrade the
Yeah.
initial message and just get messy after
That's
that.
right.
I think
so
mimic
could,
is-
yes, but
I think the word is starting to lose meaning.
Yes.
I'm like,
Mimic.
mind is hazing over.
mimic.
Mimic.
Mimic?
But yes, so can it be done? Yes, probably, but you have to do so in moderation. Like so many things in life, you have to be on top of that and manage it. All right, so the last of our questions that were pre-prepared is coming up, and then
Yes.
David has some more. So go ahead, Ben.
I appreciate this username. I is Cactus, rival of Barb.
Oh my goodness, sounds like Barb is being challenged to a duel.
Watch out, Barb.
Why are the dense clouds that surround Fairy Island considered important enough to be a point of interest on the map?
Well, that's a great question. I is Cactus, rival of Barb. And it's because they do not correspond to traditional weather pattern behavior that we would recognize here in the human world. Clouds typically tend to be impermanent, right? They form, they dissipate, they go away, they drift with the wind. These clouds have something special to them where they are permanently dense and permanently in that spot. It's like a perma fog, basically. And so that's why they're noteworthy. They're not just like, a weather pattern that was like, snapshotted in one moment. It's sort of like the storm that surrounds Weblin Island. There's a constant level of meteorological activity happening there that defies our human world understanding of how it works. And it's, dare I say, perhaps even a little magical. Those clouds. So that's why they are noted on the Monster World map.
There you go. I mean, I assume that the living ocean adheres to the water cycle, at least somewhat in terms of how...
It does, but let's recall that as a recovering living ocean water drinker myself, that it also has strange mutagenic properties that can cause unexpected consequences and side effects, which is why now I only drink pure filtered H2O from the human world in my... I got this in my brand new, my Single Monsters water bottle.
Very nice.
So there you go.
Stay
I'm also
hydrated.
rocking a new T-shirt today. I don't know if you saw.
All right, so we've got a couple of questions pulled from the live chat. I'm also going to read off a couple of the super chats that have been coming in. So we've all already thanked Cubwax, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Grandizer, thank you very much. Virus Rune, thank you for the super chats. Magnus Christopher as well, thank you.
Thank you.
Grandizer again, thanks again. We really appreciate it. And Pyrex MSM, thank you for the super chat.
Thank you.
Your support is always appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. Let's pull a couple of questions from those super chats
do it.
first.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see. Pyrex MSM's question: how can electricity be the parallel to fire, akin to how mech is the parallel of air when fire is part of electricity? Also, happy Pride.
Happy Pride,
Happy
Pirates,
Pride.
first of all. And as for your pointed question about the relationship between fire and electricity, well, you have to remember that the associations and connections that we are used to experiencing here in the human world have special changes to them or totally different relationships in the monster world. So electricity being an element in the monster world that is closely associated with the notion of creation and the spark of life. Colossals were using a variant form of electricity to bring monsters into being. It's what Galvana uses to power the Wubbox. It's what Wubbox uses to create the Wublins. So electricity is very, very important for that mode of creativity and of bringing things from the imagination into a physical, tangible form. Fire is what we like to think of as like an even older more primordial form of power. When you think of the Big Clanger, that event that sort of kick-started the monster world. Furnos is the eldest celestial, and all of those things they're connected to each other. So that's why in the monster world, fire and electricity are sort of two halves of the same sort of genesis, sort of very powerful element that can bring about other things. So that's the relationship between them. Hopefully that makes sense, Pyrex.
Yeah.
What do we got next, David?
Let's see. If the mirror dimension is now the mirror timeline, how do the natural monsters from the mirror timeline visit the main timeline's Gold Island?
Because the higher plane is already sort of a separate idea.
It's on another plane of existence.
The higher plane can almost be considered a sort of pan timeline, pan chronological state of being, plane of existence that I think, and this is just me theorizing here, but that can be accessed from multiple timelines. So recall that the higher plane was sort of discovered, accessed for the first time in the aftermath of the Dawn of Fire, when certain colossals who were experiencing the upheaval and the tumult of the cataclysm were like, man, will we will we ever experience this level of like peace, harmony, cooperation ever again? If it doesn't come to pass, we need to sort of be on the lookout for it. We can't wait for this to happen to us. We have to look for it. And so that's how the higher plane was discovered, and how monsters like how colossals like Dulcitea sort of took advantage of it as like a special refuge from the mundanities and the trivialities of the regular dimension, of the main timeline of the monster world. That's the reason why it exists in the first place. So in terms of accessibility, it wouldn't surprise me that, like I said, multiple timelines can sort of access this one, unified nirvana, heaven-like space where the monsters can feel, full self-actualization and never be hungry again, and meet monsters that they wouldn't normally see. Sort of inter-habitat connections there. So that's sort of why I think that it could be accessible from multiple timelines.
Makes sense. We've visualized the map of the monster world, which is this torus shape in a two-dimensional space as a map on a table.
Right.
What we really need now is this a Cartesian map of the celestial expanse of the monster.
The wider cosmos of the
wider cosmos of the monster world. Yeah.
You're right.
The future.
Indeed.
Here, Ben, why don't you grab a couple from the chat here. Pick your favorite.
Let's see. I like that. From Tuppy. Can Plasma and Mech Island fist bump each other? I feel like that would cause
If they were to do this, I would be very concerned about the island populations, respectively, the islet populations of each.
That would be catastrophic. Would it? No.
Could, should. Different questions.
Right. Could they?
Could, should, would.
So I think that, if the positions of the two islets that have been revealed to us so far are any indication about their relationship to their sort of home natural mirror island, they're at quite a distance from each other, but maybe not so far that they couldn't sort of like strain to reach. They're on sort of that like inner lip, the sort of inner equator of the toroidal form of the monster world. And so could they sort of like strain to reach? I kind of think that they've settled into place. Once Zarwi brings them into being, they're not necessarily like
moving around very much.
I think it would be too much.
I think it would be pretty difficult to do that, more so than with a normal Titan or Colossal or whatnot that potentially could free roam on the monster world. The islets are being
constructs that the islets are.
They're being punched through into the mirror timeline.
Right, exactly.
There's a rift there that they don't necessarily want to continue to tear.
It just seems unsafe. Inadvisable.
Probably not
Could they do it?
Cool in theory.
Maybe, but I wouldn't
Messy
do
in
it.
practice.
Yes, messy in practice. I agree.
Cool in theory, though.
Yes.
Exactly. here's a perhaps a quick one from Train Driver 142. What is the height in inches of a singular unattuned Meeb?
The height in inches of a singular unattuned Meeb. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Charlie, Monster Hunter Charlie, having returned from the Monster World at one point, was actually pursued into the human world by a Meeb, and I think ever since it's been kind of unaccounted for.
Yeah.
It's sort of roaming around the Big Blue Bubble office here.
Yeah, it's here somewhere.
But because Meebs are squashy and stretchy, like a unified, consistent form and size and shape of them, difficult to achieve.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'd say a Meeb is like,
maybe it sits comfortably in the palm of your hand.
Probably.
Maybe
like a water balloon.
Yeah, like a big water balloon. So I guess like at its height and squishiness, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches.
6 inches.
Okay.
It sits in the palm of a person's hand.
Charlie, what do you think? You've had experience.
Yes, more
Say
than
about
many of
7.5
us.
inches.
7.5 inches. from
7.5.
Charlie.
Yeah,
Okay.
so on the larger side there, but that could still fit in the hand. So there you go.
All right.
There's your Meeb dimensions.
But
roughly.
what if a Meeb got like really long, just unnaturally long?
Wait a minute. Are you talking about like what if like, for example, a crystal?
Yeah,
a crystal
Meeb
one
really
really
to be
stretched.
like really like
Really?
long,
Yeah.
and almost past the point of like recognizability.
That's right, yeah.
And,
Like you
only,
could-
and only someone who'd been staring at an image for a really long time
What would that
could
be like?
possibly suss out what they were looking at there.
Yeah, it just
That's
looked like a-
yeah. Now that you're talking about absolute insanity.
Just crazy.
Just looked like a trick of the light.
It would- yeah, just-
Exactly.
Like,
You
yeah,
might
shadow
not
and
even
light.
recognize it at all. I know a totally reasonable group of individuals.
Probably
it's
wouldn't even
possible for
notice.
them to miss it completely. So
Indeed.
Yes.
All right, Ben, grab one more from there.
All right, one more. A lot of good ones here.
Pick
and
your
we can
favorite.
never get to all of them in a given episode of My Sing Monsters Live, so don't despair if your question does not get answered today. Tune back into a future episode, and maybe you'll have a chance to have it answered then.
All right, from Jaden, where did Zaruri get all the materials to build Mech Island?
Great question. So, like I said before, the islets themselves are sort of manifestations of Zarui's like essence, will. You know, this is a colossal entity. This is something that is sort of beyond our comprehension of like where it can muster all of this material from in the first place, you know, responsible for the creation of the monster world itself. And so we saw in the sort of little hidden workshop within the workshop area within the Invention Redemption trailer from this past Saturday, sort of like models and supervisory screens up of something that's in progress, but like when the time actually came to create it, it's sort of like Green Lantern-esque, where it's like you can make the construct if you believe you can.
Sheer will.
It's like, yeah, willpower made manifest. So where did the materials come from? In short, Zarui sort of
Like it's
wants
creativity
them and makes them,
perhaps?
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like
spirit of invention.
It sources its own, spirit of invention, yes. Where's that word? Vention?
Vention?
Could that possibly be the provenance of that name? I don't know.
Perhaps.
So, all
I
right,
think
well, thank
that's
you so
all.
much for posing those questions to
Always,
us.
thank you.
We love answering them, and like I said before, if we didn't get a chance to get to yours today, fear not, we might get to it in a future episode of My Singing Monsters Live. Now, normally, we would do a segment right now where we would take a look at monster pieces, but because we already have an awesome Creator Month contest that was devoted entirely to monster pieces, we're going to skip that for this episode and instead do a little mini segment of Monster Mail. Monster
Mail
Mail.
Mail time, yep.
Yes.
All right.
What's the song? What's the song?
Ding ding ding
Ding,
ding
ding,
ding
ding,
ding 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 mail ding 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 ding, and then I stare at the camera really intensely.
Very
now.
intensely, and then I jump and break the couch.
Crunch.
Hey Stu, would you like to pick one perhaps?
would.
While
I
I
would.
stare at the viewers.
Yes. Why don't we begin?
I know what you did.
Why
Sports
don't we begin with
manifesting.
this one?
Thank you very much.
And
saw what you did.
Also, Ben,
anyway.
just as a quick point of clarification, I think you mistakenly mistook me for a moment for a deputy Stu, who as we know works as part of Sing,
Different guy.
the organization that yeah, I know it looks a lot like me, but it's actually a totally different
My
person.
apologies.
Yes, just for those of you who are keeping track.
Point of clarification.
So, we got this letter in. Dear Monster Handlers, I really love your game and all the monsters in it, especially the ethereals, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I would really love if you read this in a video. Here you go.
Surprise!
Because I would really like if you could add in my art for a 5-element ethereal called Clispo. So, this was sent in. Where did I get the name here? Please reply to my. Oh my god. Where's the signatory on this? Anyway, Ernie, there we go, from Ernie, from the UK. So, thank you so much, Ernie, for sending this in. There's some awesome drawings here that you can see of Clispo, the 5-element ethereal monster, giving Bamibeth a run for its money here. But I'm just going to bring it up to the screen.
Maybe
Autofocus.
Focus.
Anyway, even if you just get the sense of it here, there's Clispo. And it's great. So, thank you so much for sending that in, Ernie. And look, there you go. Wish fulfilled. You got it read there in the video.
Thank you, Ernie. All right, I've got one from Nathaniel in Brazil.
Oh, Brazil.
All right, dear BBB.
We love our Brazilian fans.
My name is Nathan. I'm 13 years old, and I love My Singing Monsters. We do too. And I appreciate the effort and dedication you're all putting into the game that a lot of people love.
Ah, shucks.
And I want to say thanks for making my childhood more happier and putting a smile on my face every day. Well, thank you, Nathan.
Wow, what kind, sincere words.
Got
That's
some
what it's all about.
Absolutely. Got some fantastic drawings of Flog.
Ooh.
It's nice.
All right, I want to see these drawings while we continue to our next one. Yes, Flog and Pummel.
Flog and Pummel.
Oh,
Excellent.
now we have one from Levi in. What's that, David? Do you know? Just
Lovettsville, VD. American States?
what are those?
Lovettsville.
What?
Is that Vermont? Maybe that's not a
How would
D?
it be Vermont? Uh-oh. Our American short form state
We're
knowledge is being
Canadian.
tested here. Anyway,
Y'all have too many states.
to protect your anonymity, we'll just say that you're from Lovettsville.
All right. From Levi. Hello, Monster Handlers. My name is Levi, and I am currently 12, 13 awaiting, and I just wanted to show you my concept for Epic Sugarbush Island Wubbox. Stay great, and drumroll, please. Happy monstering. Hopefully this gets on Monster Mail.
Happy
Monstering.
Yay!
Oh,
There it is
autofocus, please.
Give it a shot.
Please.
It's thinking about it.
Maybe there. There's good.
And then you have to zoom in
Yeah.
if you want to see.
Enhance. Anyway.
Enhance. 50-50.
All right, I'll take this one.
There you are.
This one comes from Nashville, and here we have. Oh, I see it. I see multiple pictures of pictures. So, dear Big Blue Bubble, my name is Luke. I'm 11 years old, and I am such a big fan. I love My Singing Monsters and Dawn of Fire. My favorite monster is Pentumbra, and I've made 8 fan-made monsters, plus drawn a lot of the monsters. I have made Pentumbra out of clay and took a picture to show you. Here's a drawing of him, an excellent drawing of Pentumbra here, but I also have these photos of Pentumbra that has been made out of clay by a talented member of our community, Luke. There's 2 different photos here showing it at slightly different angles. You know, Pentumbra would be a difficult monster to create from just a balancing standpoint out of clay. So what an amazing achievement, Luke. Thanks so much for writing in and sharing your love of My Singing Monsters with us. That is awesome.
That's really well done that it can like freestand like that.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm flabbergasted, very impressed.
Very cool. All right, we got one here from Virginia.
Right.
Dear Monster Handlers, my name is Angel, and I'm 18. I've been playing the game for 11 years. Holy smokes.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Crazy.
That's incredible. Crazy, right? Yes, we agree. I remember when Tribal Island dropped and Kana became 8-year-old me's favorite monster. Anyways, MSM means a whole lot to me, and it's one of my favorite games ever. Nowadays, I'm a huge music lover, and I'm taking music theory in school this year as I'm writing this. Awesome. And I'm pretty sure that it's at least partly because of MSM. So I'm just writing to say you guys low-key changed my life, in brackets, in a good way.
Amazing.
Currently Ethereal Workshop is my favorite island ever. I actually just got Bamibeth a week ago. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Some of my favorite monsters are Whale, well, pretty much everyone on Workshop, Galvana, Bogart, Kana, Edamimi, Rorik, Gnarls, Dermot, Nebulob, Nerve. Okay, I could go on, but I think I should stop there.
Good list.
Good list.
I have a whole massive alternate universe story thing based on MSM, which I wish I could tell you guys all about, but we'd be here all day, lol. It's been really nice. It's been a really nice escape when stuff gets stressful, and it wouldn't exist without the game, so I owe it to you. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling, but I just wanted to say hi from your actual biggest fan, Heart Angel, with a picture of Nerve at the bottom.
Nice. Well, thank
you very much.
Writing in. It's so edifying to hear how the game that's all about music can inspire people in their creativity in their own world. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that's
We got it all.
That's what we got.
All right. So before we begin to wrap things up here, we of course, as per usual on My Sing Monsters Live, want to give you a sneak peek of special offers and promotions that are coming. We saw that one already. But here we go.
No.
So starting tomorrow.
It's time to get into gear.
Yeah. So David, what have we here?
The Mech Island Rare and Epic Ethereals, available to buy or breed in the market on their respective islands. No rares or epics on the Ethereal Islands yet, obviously. I don't know. I wonder when that's going to happen.
Yeah, that almost like that would be a major momentous thing. To
something big would have to change for that to happen.
But yes,
so,
look at all those fun mech element monsters. Now, this promotion is a little different than ones we've been running in the past because it includes Rebro in its rare and epic form.
Yes.
Sometimes we just include the hybrids, but this one includes those monsters as well on the special occasion of Mech Islet's released. So on their respective islands, go and check out availabilities for all of these monsters. Maybe you need some for a rare or epic Wubbox.
All right, next up, we have a seasonal sale for Rare Whizbang, available to buy or breed at level 9 for a limited time on Light and Seasonal Shanty.
There you go, a rare opus indeed. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, and all of those references and whatnot.
There's something going on with
There is something going on. There's a recognizability to them. It's I don't know. Is it that they're a tiny dancer? Is it that they?
I'm hearing some piano in my head.
They go to sleep in a honky chateau. I don't know. All sorts of stuff like that. But anyway, Rare Whiz Bang, add it to your collection in an availability window beginning tomorrow. And of course, this is a time-honored tradition here. We've been doing this for several years now, but we've got our loud and proud promotion that always accompanies sky painting. As always, we affirm that My Singing Monsters is a place where everybody belongs, and so all of these multicolored rainbow rares and epics are available to buy or breed in the market on their respective islands for a limited time. A great cross-section of monsters from various classes here. We've got Rare Mushaboom added there in the upper corner, which has that rainbow motif added to it, and also for those of you who are wanting to ascend adult vamp, Rare Tring satisfies that rare fire quad flex that you might need, so its availability will coincide there and will extend into next week to go and check that out. So loud and proud, it's an important part of what we do here.
It's that time again for an out-of-season sale for Yule. Rare and epic forms available to buy or breed at level 9 for a limited time. Maybe you're just starting out in the game. Maybe it's you're just starting your collection of seasonal monsters and you weren't here for the last Festival of Yay. Now's your first chance then to get your first Yule. Get it while it's available.
That's right. It's on the Cold Island and Coliseum, and the rare and epic forms are there on Seasonal Shanty, so you got to go check it out. Connected to that,
we have a seasonal quest available now called Days of Yay, in which you must teleport a level 5 Yule or buy one in the Coliseum to complete this limited quest to win a special costume and trophy. The costume is also available to collect on the main islands as well. You can unlock this by completing the prerequisite Quest 6, Three's a Crowd on the Coliseum.
Yes, I love this costume. This is the fursuit costume. That's FIR.
FIR.
That's FIR. But yeah, and I love this little trophy for me. is, you know, it's low-key one of my favorite Festival of Yay themed decorations. I just love how bright and shiny it is.
Very cool.
And the only way to get it is by completing this Days of Yay promotion, this seasonal quest. And we have our With Flying Colors promotion that highlights a very important part of everything to do with light in the monster world, and that's, of course, globes. So you get 50% less time conjuring and fusing globes for the duration of sky painting starting tomorrow on the 26th. And it's a great time to add beautiful light displays to all islands where the fuser is available. And you know, there are so many different color options to choose from.
Absolutely.
You can select the light sequence that you want them to appear in. Tons of customization options, and of course, like we alluded to earlier, the whiz-bang itself is sort of a transcendental form of globe. So it's nice to sort of get a chance to cavort with it. What could be considered its cousins here. So awesome stuff.
And as June is wrapping up, holy smokes, it's almost July. That means it's your last chance to get Vamp. We were just talking about Rare Tring and the need for that Fire Quad Flex Egg. Vamp is 60% off, and it's ascended and revived forms. Can get into its adult form on Celestial Island. So before time runs out, before the end of the month, get your Vamps.
That's right, and over there in the margin, I see the next constellation loading, and it's going to be Immortal Jolt soon, in July, like you said. So while Metal Gear is floating in the sky, make sure to get all things Vamp related. Switching over to Dawn of Fire.
Dawn of Fire.
All right, yes.
Ben, what's coming tomorrow?
In Dawn of Fire, we have a limited sale for out-of-season young Yule, available to buy or breed at level 9 for a limited time on the continent.
Yes, if adult Yule wasn't enough in My Singing Monsters, flip on over to Dawn of Fire and get the young form.
A really cute Yule.
Extremely
Very cute, yes. Teeth are still coming in there.
Yeah.
It's working on it.
We've got our Life of the Party promotion, in which all prismatics are available at level 9 for limited time in the Prism Gate on Party Island. Why Party Island, you might be wondering? Well, of course, it's because it is the sister island, the corresponding island to Light Island in the modern monster world. You can see that on very, very clearly on things like Mirror Light Island. But all of these prismatics are available to collect on Light Island, a cross section, all 6 colors in all of the available species forms.
And of course, along with that, 50% off all adult monsters on Party Island. So as you're filling out your collection on Party Island, this will help you along the way.
It sure will.
And we have the last call on collecting Vamp, the Celestial of Mech, by completing this month's star chart or by buying it on Starhenge before the end of June.
Yes, in its elder form there in Dawn of Fire.
Elder Celestials.
Yeah, but what? Elder Celestials? What are you talking about, David? We don't talk about those words here on the program. Here in Dawn of Fire, we continue the fun Bogle-centric celebration with 100% more in the featured currency packs, the Coffer of Coins, and the Globe of Diamonds. It almost seems, if you look quickly, or maybe not quickly, that the statue of Bogle there almost seems to be coming alive. You know, the eye is so bright, so shiny. Yeah. And what's happening on the Coffer of Coins there? There's also something weird going on with that eye. It almost looks like one of the obstacles on Mech Island, one of the emitters of those interesting islet trees. Yes, perhaps just some sort of
perhaps
glitch.
a error? No.
Yes, a mechanical difficulty.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
All right, and this is why you want to tune into My Singing Monsters Live, Handler Helpers, because here you get some sneak peeks of what's coming next week. Now, if you've already watched Monster Handler Charlie's special field notes from earlier today, you will have gotten a sneak peek about them, but if you haven't watched that yet, well, then you're seeing it here for the first time.
And go watch it.
2 new monsters coming out next week as well. We've got Rare Bloat, the final of the magical quads from the magical islands that you'll be needing on Magical Nexus to power up that section of the Nexus nucleus. Some really interesting traits and lore and personality to this monster, which you can learn more about in those field notes, so be sure to go and check that out. But it's not alone. It's not the only Rare Magical that's coming next Wednesday, July 2nd. There's also
what's next?
The Rare Marvelous. The Rare Marvelous. Marvelous, isn't it? The Rare Marvelous?
It is pretty marvelous.
Yes, a very strong sense of its bone genealogy there present in the design of this rare monster.
That's not on that thing. That's just there. Okay, sorry.
All good, Charlie. Yeah, so both of these monsters, you can learn more about them in the field notes from today, but they're both coming next Wednesday, July 2nd. So a little bit of a sneak peek there. I would say that it was
We're back.
a debut here, but no, you actually would have seen them first as part of the field notes.
And if you haven't yet, go
Check
watch
it out.
it.
That's right. And you know what? We were talking about how we did Monster Mail instead of Monster Piece section. That's because we've got something exciting for you this weekend to check out. A return to the Museum of Monster Art.
Yes.
Narrated the audio tour by preeminent monster art historian Jupiter Stitzel. So you'll want to tune in this weekend to see that video, to see some of the amazing pieces of artwork that hang in the gallery halls of the Museum of Monster Art, as well as the winners of one of our Creator Month costumes, in which artworks that were submitted to us now have a permanent canonical place in the Museum of Monster Art.
Thanks to generous donations and Single Pite's Blessing.
The Single Pite's Blessing Fund.
The MoMA is expanding.
That's right. Sometimes here in the human world it can be very difficult to get funding for art, but fortunately they know how important it is in the monster world.
Indeed.
And they devote lots of time and energy and cultural resources.
Yeah, it's sky painting season. They know the importance of art.
Exactly, it's very important.
So, of course,
Wizwint,
a museum
Bango,
expansion
and important artists
come.
like that. So make sure to check back for that on Saturday. So we already mentioned as well that Monday, June 30th is your last chance to to participate and enter the Creator Costume Contest for a chance to have your costume selected and to join the official Creator Series in-game and the Discord Emoji Contest ending on Monday, June 30th as well. Something else I wanted to mention as we wrap up the show for today is that you might be wondering, well, whatever happened to that contest that you guys ran a little while back, the Perplexed Lore contest? Well, I'm happy to say that through the diligent tireless efforts of the entire marketing team, we've got a short list that has been assembled now of entries that are of particular note, that display exemplary amounts of creativity, and that has crossed my proverbial desk, and then we're going to start taking a look at that very, very soon. So don't worry, there is movement on that front.
And don't worry, even if yours didn't make the short list, we did read them all.
We read all of them.
Everything,
and there were multiple thousands of entries,
multiple thousands of them, but we read them all.
Yeah, of course, there can only be one winner, but I believe there are a few honorable mentions there that when the time comes to announce the winner of that contest. And we enjoyed every single entry that came through.
Some fascinating discoveries.
Some of you used this as an opportunity to write some pretty decent stand-up as well.
Some good chuckles in there. Absolutely.
That gave us many a good chortle as the marketing team went through it.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right.
One thing that
we
we
almost
should
forgot.
We almost forgot. Thank you, Monster Handler Charlie, for pulling that up on the screen for us. We've been trying to make it a bit more of a habit, but we want to make sure that you feel like your time with us is as enjoyable, valuable for you as it is for us, and rewarded. So, for those of you that stuck around, we have another giveaway code. Here are the details on the bottom of the screen now, please.
It's hard to do that.
It's down there.
Mech 2025.
Go to redeem.mysingingmonsters.com. Use the giveaway code MECH2025. You will need to enter your friend code /BBBID and the code. They are available for a limited time only. One redeem per ID.
Yes, it's not available for very long, so you've got to act fast. So if you're tuning in now, go to redeem.mysingmonsters.com and get that submitted. And it might be very helpful for you as you are trying to collect all the new and exciting things that were released today as part of version 4.8.4.
Absolutely.
Indeed. So
there you go. So we'll probably keep that banner up just as we sign off here. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of My Singing Monsters Live. We hope that you enjoyed your time with us today, learning a little bit more about the monster world, about the exciting things that we continue to bring to the My Singing Monsters game experience, and a renewed commitment to make sure that you're living authentically.
Yeah.
That you take time to love yourself and
be comfortable with who you are.
Yeah, be comfortable with who you are. My Singing Monsters, our community is all about feeling represented, included, and respected. Right.
Absolutely.
Sky painting is the perfect time to celebrate that here in the monster world, and there's
in the real world.
Exactly. There's never been a more important time to make sure that those sorts of values are expressed by us here at Big Blue Bubble in the human world as well. So. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, June 2025 of My Singing Monsters Live. Thank you so much. We'll see you very soon. And until next time, happy monstering!